Hello and welcome to week 2. Coming up is one of your first major assignments. So I thought instead of just giving you written instructions, I'd actually walk you through the process here. Within the course shell, there is an example of a demonstration speech outline, which you can use as a guideline. But we're going to walk through crafting one here right now. First, we need to pick a topic. I'm going to pick the topic because, well, it's just me. I think, how about this one? The purpose of my speech is to demonstrate how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, aka the famous PBJ. To begin the speech, we start with the introduction. Now, this outline that I'm going to provide for you right now, it's a generic outline, and it is relevant to all of your major speeches. You can use this model for all of your major speeches. Starting with the introduction. So we start with Roman numerals. Introduction, body, and conclusion. In APA formatting for an outline, we indent and use uppercase alphas. There are 5 dimensions to a formal introduction. First, and it sort of makes sense, you want to start by getting the attention of your audience. Because after all, if you don't have the attention of the audience, what's the point? Then you state the formal purpose of your speech. And I'm looking for specific words here, so you might want to take notes. It goes something like this, not something like, but exactly like this. The purpose of my speech is to demonstrate. And then whatever it is that you're going to be demonstrating. Let's just say how to weave baskets underwater. Okay, so formal purpose statement. This lets your audience know where you're headed. Then what you need to do is you need to state your authority to speak on this subject. That's known as a credibility statement. Why are you credible? And then what you need to do is you need to create salience, which is a fancy word for value to the audience. Because if you're sitting in an audience, why would you pay attention if the speaker hasn't created value for you to be present and pay attention? So that's a salient statement. And then what you need to do is you need to preview your main points. Before you can preview the main points, you need to figure out what they're going to be. So again, the purpose of our speech today is to demonstrate how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This brings us to the next sort of significant concept, which is the idea of discrete categories or main points. When you're delivering a presentation, and a formal presentation, you can't just spew. You can't show with a bunch of random information and it's not in any kind of order and just spew it. You have to clump it. You have to put it in groups or discrete categories that'll allow for you to transition between each of those main categories and keep your audience focused and in tune with where you're heading. So for me, all right, this is kind of what I visualize. This is me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Waking up. Visualize this. Maybe this is you. I don't know. Wiping the drool off. Trying to get coherent. Maybe going in, using the bathroom. And then you're standing there and the kitchen's right down the hall. shuffle in. Kitchen. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. You know, you open up the door to the refrigerator and you bask in the cold glow, welcoming glow of the refrigerator, and you try to figure out what you're going to do. And then the light bulb goes on. PBJ, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Okay? So that's where you are. The question then is, what is the first clump or big chunk of this thing of making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Now for me, what it is, it's gathering the materials. So that's what I would put here. Okay, so in APA formatting, your main points are indented uppercase alphas, but your subpoints are indented Hindu Arabic numerals. That's what those are actually called, Hindu Arabic numerals. Okay, so then what you would do is simply list the materials. I don't know, bread, peanut butter, etc. Okay, so you've got them all laid out on the counter. The next main chunk or discrete category for this presentation for me would be the process. I would say assembly. So I would label that. And then, by the way, these here, you'll have more ingredients. You just list them down. We're kind of scrunched right now for room. So then assembly, again, it's indented and it's Hindu Arabic numerals. And that's where you would say, first I put the bread on the plate. Then I smear the peanut butter on the bread, or whatever it is your process. By the way, for those of you who are into creamy peanut butter is not good. Crunchy peanut butter is where it's at. So then you would list those there, okay? And then I don't know about you, but I can't put my feet up and enjoy my meal until I clean up. So my third main point would be cleanup. Okay? And then again, whatever that is for you, in single, full sentences. On all of your presentations, you will only use single complete sentences per subpoint. Any more than that, and you're creating a manuscript or an essay, and that's not what I'm going for. An outline is a skeletal representation of what you're presenting orally. So you might want to remind yourself of what constitutes a complete sentence. One exception will be for this demonstration speech, which many of you will maybe choose to create something like this, so then you may want to sort of list the ingredients. That is the exception. You can simply use numbers and list the ingredients. I don't think you have to create full sentences for those, but on all of your major speeches, except for this first demonstration speech and this section here, it's going to be single complete sentences only for your subpoints. And then in the conclusion, I'm looking for two things. In the conclusion, what I'm looking for is a summary or a review of your main points, and then a clincher of some sort. If you'll notice here, I'm previewing my main points here. I'm walking you through them here, and then I'm going to give you an example of transitions that I'm going to be expecting between the main points. And then in the conclusion, you'll review the main points, and then you'll give a clincher. A clincher is like some sort of final attention-getting device. But if you check this out, you notice what I'm doing here is I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you. And then here, I'm telling you what I said I was going to tell you, yes, with transitions and evidence. And then in the conclusion, in the conclusion, I'm going to tell you what I just told you. And I'm hoping that some of you recognize that format from your English courses. This is simple essay formatting, okay? So, and this is the clincher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of walk you through this presentation. All right, here we go.
You ever get peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth?
That's my attention device. The purpose of my speech is to demonstrate how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm credible to talk about this because, well, I've been doing it for the last 10 years. And all of the kids on the block like to come and play with my kids at my house because of my awesome PBJs. This might be important to you if you become parents or grandparents like me. I got 18 grandbabies. And you want to keep track of those kids when they're playing with their friends. This brings the kids to your house so you can keep track of them. That's the salient statement. That's my attempt to create value to you for this presentation. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich by talking about the materials, the assembly, and the cleanup. So, first, let's get our stuff together. Now, did you hear how let's get our stuff together is a transition between the introduction and the first main point? Then I walk the audience through the list of materials: bread, peanut butter, yakety smack, knife, plate, blah blah blah. And then when I'm done with this main point, then I say, now that we've gathered our materials, let's go ahead and put it together. Again, do you hear the distinct transition between these two main points? Okay? Put the bread on the plate, smear the peanut butter, etc., walking through the second main point. And then I would say something like, okay, it's time to clean it up so we can enjoy it. Again, a distinct transition between these main points. Okay? Whatever that might be, rinse them off, load the dishwasher. When you're done with that, then you say, now, today, I have demonstrated how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich by gathering the materials, the assembly, and the cleanup. And then I provide a clincher of some sort. This isn't very clever. You can craft something better than this, I'm sure. Because you can become a rock star on your block by knowing how to make an awesome peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, what I've done is I've provided for you a video of how to craft an outline used in combination with the example that you will have in the shell, which, by the way, I think the title for that example is How to Pass the CNA Boards or Exams or something like that. You'll find it in there. Okay? You should be able to easily craft this first draft to submit to me for my consideration. Thank you.